can do, if I notice like I have an area that's too dark, is I can come in here and kind of pull up some paint while it's wet. I don't want to do this in too many areas because it will pull up my paint that I may want to stay on there. But just like right there, I noticed it's getting pretty like muddy, so I just wanted to come in there and pull up a little bit of that paint with my paper towel or rag. So then I've let mine dry a few minutes, so I think I'm ready to continue. I'm going to go ahead and make my darkest value, and at this point I may use a little bit of black when I mix this up, just so that I get that nice dark green tone that I want. So I'm just using just a little bitty bit of black. Don't use too much. Don't use straight black by any stretch of the imagination at this point, because it will be super dark and it will not look good. So just, I've got that nice dark green, and I'm going to come in here where my darkest areas are with this dark green. Which makes sense that it's like in the middle of the tree. Or at the bottom here at the tree. There's a little bit of this dark green up here toward the top. Again, make sure you're looking at your image, not just what I'm doing, because that's going to give you a more realistic look if you are really paying attention to where you see those dark values, not just where I'm seeing them. And again, this is not going to be like a photorealistic painting. It's going to be more of just looks like a tree. It looks like a realistic tree. I can see that my paint is still a little wet, but I'm kind of coming in here in this darkest area of shadow. I do notice, like, looking at mine, there seems to be like a brighter spot here that I've kind of covered up. So what I can do to kind of help with that is I can add a little bit of water, just straight water in here, and then come in there with my paper towel and kind of pull up some of that paint to kind of give me that bright spot back. Same thing, like right in here, I got it a little dark, and so one thing I can do is kind of come back in and pull that out. Now I might gonna have to come back and add some more on top of that, like a little bit of this yellow green to make that look like the rest of the tree. But that can kind of help me bring back out some of those lighter areas that I may have kind of covered up as I was working. Again, if you notice, like, while you're doing this and you're working on your tree, oh, it's just all like blending together, the water's just, you know, kind of blending, then you probably need to stop and let it dry. So that's a basic tree. I could continue pushing this value and really like make it look more realistic by letting it dry and coming in here with darker values. And certainly if you want to continue trying that, please do stop your video. Come back in here and really like try to get all these like darker values. It just really, mine needs to dry for a little bit. Probably another 5 or 10 minutes. And then I could come back in here and pull out some of these dark values to get that more contrast. But this should give you a good basis. Again, look at your source image to do this kind of thing. And just continue practicing.